pull up a cup of coffee, and let's get this party started.
We're the uplines you didn't know you needed, but now you have.
This is the podcast for women who are building a direct sales business, but want to do it the right way.
Melanie has a decade of experience in direct sales. She's earned the top in industry 4 years in a row and has grown a multi-million-dollar organization. She gives a no BS approach to leadership, recruitment, and organization.
And my bestie Katy has you covered with the rest. From the relationships, the do's and don'ts of branding, her content has been viewed by millions. She doesn't just talk the talk, but she teaches people how to create an intentional brand too.
All right, let's get this party started. Oh, hey everyone, it is Katy and Melanie of the Direct Sales Done Right podcast. And this episode is so much fun because we are going to be talking about holiday sales. We're going to be talking about how to really boost and increase that income, especially during the holiday season. Now, I don't know about you, but I know that inflation is actually happening and everything seems so expensive. And as my kids get older, so do the things that they want. So I am finding that this season in particular, anything that's helping our clients really see a boost in their income, in their revenue, especially over the holiday season, is going to be fantastic. So we have a couple of strategies that I'm going to be putting Melanie on the spot with as we go through them. But before we do not have a listener of the week. We do not, but I want to talk about it for a minute.
Okay, good.
So in most cases, we usually have a listener of the week. And our listener of the week is somebody who tags us and lets us know that they are listening to the podcast through social media. So usually in their stories, they'll just tag at Melanie Mitro, at Katy Writes Content, or at Chic Influencer. And they let us know, hey, I'm listening to this podcast. I loved it. Or they give us something that they took away from it. And if they are chosen, we actually do this like mini little coaching session with them. And it's all online. It's all through the DMs. They ask us a question and we give some feedback about it. So I guarantee you next week we'll come back with an example of a podcast listener of the week. But for now, let's actually dive into this week's episode. So we are going to have a little bit of fun. We are going to talk a little bit about the holiday season and what those sales can look like. So before we do you have any particular memories of 12 years of direct sales experience where you used holiday sales or incentives in some way to really boost your revenue throughout that season?
Yes. So lots of times over the course of 12 years, every holiday season, I definitely would like show up and do something different. And, you know, one of the things that I always would find incredibly interesting is that a lot of direct sellers take a step back during the holidays, you know, and they start to go, oh, it's so hard to make sales, or I'm too busy to build my team. And so I always find it crazy that people will like go get another part-time job. And I'm like, but you could literally make money from the comfort of your own home if you just thought about it a little bit differently. And so for me, one of the things that I do is I have a normal cadence throughout the course of a year of how I sell the products and how I would present the business opportunity. But when the holiday season came around, I just reimagined the way that I did sales. And I really said, how can I play on the fact that people need gifts for their loved ones or teachers or the bus drivers, you know, whatever. And I also thought, like, how can I use this to maybe get the product into hands of people that wouldn't typically buy, but because I can create a sale or promotion or deal. And so that's what we're going to do is go through some of those ways. And for me, reimagining the way that I do sales during the holidays has allowed me to hit sales goals to where I've paid for my holiday gifts for our families and friends in cash, not putting it on a credit card that I then had to stress out about in January, February, and March. And so for me, that was really initially as I was getting into the direct sales space was how I looked at it. This is a way for me to be able to be home with my kids, to work in the pockets of, you know, my mom life and busy life, to be able to contribute and to create a little less financial stress on our family throughout the holiday season.
One of the things we challenge you to do here at Direct Sales Done Right is to really think of yourself as the CEO, not the company as the owner of the business. And one thing that we realized early on in our direct sales business is even if the company wasn't creating a sale or excitement or incentivizing, or they didn't have a launch coming up, or maybe it was a launch that it just didn't seem right for my audience, I can create my own hype. Yes, and we want to remind you of this. It might just be rethinking the way that you always do business. It could be the way that you package items. It could be the way that you just market them. It could be the verbiage that you use within your content. So we want to just really take ownership of what we bring to the table and how we can do it differently. So we want to challenge you on that. Okay, so let's talk about one of these ways of boosting sales that I know that we have done throughout our direct sales experience. It's like going to a blast in the past. Let's talk about the 12 days of Christmas.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm very excited about this one. And as I was kind of writing up the notes for this podcast, I wanted to put myself into different network marketing companies and speak about it from a few different ways so that everybody could put themselves into how this could work. So 12 days of Christmas is something that you can do in a variety of ways. This could be in an email sequence that you send out. This could be in a Facebook group, or it could be right on your public social media platforms. 12 days of Christmas is basically saying, all right, over the course of 12 days, typically it's the 1st through the 12th of December, you pick 12 different products, product configurations, bundles, packages that you want to feature. They are usually things that really resonate with you, that you've used, that you loved, that they're things from your company's product catalog that you want to sell to other people. And so basically, and one of the ways that we did this in the past, and I'll just give you that as an example, is we would actually do this 12 days of this one specific product, right? And so we would actually we would make a Facebook group, we would invite people in to join, and we basically would have 12 different recipes for our specific shakes that we had. And we would say, all right, for 12 days, you're going to try this specific product and we're going to guide you through it. We're going to teach you how to make it. We're going to give you different recipes. We created these little bundle packages. We had boxes with tissue paper and a little, handout that we printed out. And then we would give recipes. We would give tips. We would give transformations. And over 12 days, people would come into this group every single day and we would talk about the products.
Yeah.
So that's one way that you could do it.
For clarity, just so you know, that product was a nutritional supplement. It was actually a shake. So just for giving clarity on what that product was. But let's say that you don't really have one product that would work with. How would you suggest people do something like that?
Okay, so you could do, again, if you wanted to do a Facebook group, you could basically say, this is my 12 favorite things. And if you are skincare, or you are beauty, or you are supplements, in the wellness space, you would basically come in and say, these are my 12 favorite things that I use to enhance my skin, or to feel young and youthful, or to have hair that is thick and full, whatever it might be, right? And then every single day you would drop a new product into the group. You would talk about the product, the problem that it resolves. You would talk about, who it's for. You would maybe give a testimonial or a transformation or a how to use it. And then you would have some sort of bundle option or sale. So in the past, we've done for every purchase, you get a $5 Amazon gift card if the company wasn't giving us any kind of deal.
Yeah.
If the company is giving you deals, then you would just offer the deal, have people comment below, and then you would go on to message the people that were interested.
Yeah.
You could also do that on your Facebook or Instagram stories if you wanted to do that as well. The problem with that is you don't know who's interested, right? When you put somebody in a Facebook group, make sure you get their email address so you know who they are so you can follow up with them. But on public, you could do that as well. You could go in your stories, you could talk about this product. Okay, it's the first day of Christmas. Here's the product. I've struggled with hair that's thinning or, just not having any volume. If that is you, here is this specific hair care system. It's helped me with X, Y, and Z. Here's a few testimonials. Here's the link to purchase it, or contact me, or vote on this poll and I'll send you information.
Yes.
Like to make it exclusive. I've got 3 offers available or 3 bundles left, right? So if you can create something like that inside of a Facebook group or on public social, that's a way that you can really do 12 days of Christmas. So for us, our company never really gave us good discounts on
Back
things.
in the day, many moons ago, I remember this. There was a life-size, like gigantic tub of the product was called E&E. And I'm like actually speaking to people who were back there. And it was like a 90-day supply.
I love how big this is.
To this day, I still think that was one of the best things they ever did for the
People
holidays.
were like, what is this?
It's so great. Back in the day. Memories. But one thing I also want to add is it doesn't matter if you have multiple products or you have one product. It's how you show up and showcase that product or products. I know that we have a client who, I think it's called Lila Rose, right, Alyssa? Lila Rose is a hair clips. They sell hair clips. She could do that showcasing one type of hair clip multiple different ways for 12 days, or she could showcase different hair clips and different ways for people to use them over a span of 12 days.
I love that.
There's so many ways that you can do it. Have fun with it. Be creative. And if you are sitting here saying, I don't know if I have time to do this, you do. You have to be intentional about it. But we're going to talk about that on next week's episode of the podcast.
And you know, that intentionality too, I wrote that even in our notes. I was like, listen, you can basically create the images and the captions all ahead of time and upload it, you know, and so you have lots of time to think about it. But I want you to, again, go back to what your goals are. If your goals are to make more money for the holidays, do this. This might be really worth your time, you know, to do this 12 days. And to also, if you have a downline, get them to invite their customers as well. This could be a great way for you to generate income for the whole downline and for everybody to have a more peaceful holiday because they're, you know, creating additional income.
Yeah. One other thing I have for the 12 days of Christmas, just as a suggestion, is I wouldn't suggest starting it on like December 12th and going till the 24th. Just people are, by then they've purchased what they want. So you can actually start this late November or even very latest, like first week of December, I would say. So just wanted to kind of let
you could call it my favorite things. You don't have to call it 12 days of Christmas, but listen, every blogger out there does this. They have their favorite things, right? And so if people look to you as an expert in the space that you're in, they're going to buy from you too. All right.
Okay, let's talk about the second one. Okay. And we're going to lead it by saying we call it Black Friday sale. You don't have to do this on Black Friday. If your schedule is like, I am decorating on Friday, or if you know that your husband's going to be out hunting on Monday, you have to be intentional about when you do this. Speaking from experience. So you want to host some kind of sale around that Thanksgiving, if you're in the US, that Thanksgiving time that really sets up the holiday season. So why don't you talk for a couple minutes about Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So we don't love to do Black Friday sales. And actually think industry-wide, that's very much shifting. You're now seeing all of these pre-Black Friday sales. Yeah. And for us, we want to be off, you know, really with our families on Black Friday. So we actually like to do a pre-Black Friday sale, usually that Monday or Tuesday of Thanksgiving week, or even for you guys, it could be the week before. So you can do this in a bunch of different ways, but you want to determine what your outcome is. Again, what's the purpose of Black Friday? To get the best deal possible. And if you always think about Walmart, right? And Walmart always does the big TVs or the new edition of an Xbox or a PlayStation, and people camp out at 2 a.m. for when, now Walmart's open 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if they camp out anymore.
I know. So you camp out to wait for the doors to be open to get the chance to get one of the 4 big TVs. And so what are they doing? They're creating this exclusivity, right? There's only 4 available. It's on a certain day. And also you can create sort of an end date too. It ends at midnight. And so what happens is it creates this hype, this FOMO. I want to be one of those 5 people. Listen, you might not be somebody that camps out at 2 a.m. on a regular basis, but because everybody's talking about these TVs, all of a sudden you have just decided that's what you're going to, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, right.
But you know, I will sit there online and with my finger on the button, like that would be something I would do. If it was something I really wanted.
I wouldn't.
I would. For sure. It depends. It depends. So anyways, we want to create that sort of hype for other people. So choose your day that you want to have a sale. Choose your sale items. Pick things that are in high demand that people would want, and then decide what that bundle is going to look like. Are you able to give a discount through your direct sales company, or do you need to incentivize with a gift card? Do you want to give away freebies? Do you have some samples that if somebody buys this bundle, they'll get a one-on-one session with you, or they will get your favorites, a sampler pack of something else? So you want to think about, what is my Black Friday sale going to be? What items do I want to put on sale? You want to choose, how do you want to deliver this? We have done it in the past where we'll do like a 1-hour event, and every 10 minutes we'll introduce a new offer. We'll do it online. You can do it through an unlisted YouTube. You can do it through Zoom. You can also stream it right into a Facebook group if you have one as well. And so every 5 to 10 minutes, we'll introduce a new product. We'll say that there are 3 offers available. Here is what it is. Comment below me if you want this offer. And then we're sitting there closing the sales. And so it's this really high energy, exciting time where everybody's chatting in the DMs and closing sales. And it creates a lot of energy. So you can do that. You can also do a Black Friday sale where you send out an email. And the email basically goes through the sale items that you have, and people have until a certain amount of time to make a purchase. So creating your own Black Friday sale is important. It's just, people sometimes will buy during this time when they wouldn't typically buy because it's a sale. Yeah. It's a deal. And it is a good way to re-engage customers that maybe haven't ordered in a while, or to get in some new customers that maybe wouldn't have otherwise been interested, but because there's a really good discount, they will join.
All right. So we've only gone through 2 and you have 6. So I know we have a lot to cover. So let's talk about number 3. And that's the business opportunity. And we do see a habit when it comes to direct sellers is during the winter months, they kind of take like the brakes. They kind of pump the brakes a little bit when it comes to the recruitment side of what they do, because they're like, I don't know if anyone wants to start a business in November and December. And so they don't notice it sometimes that their recruitment content actually falls off, and then they have to start again in January. But we want you to really think proactively about Q4 going into Q1. So we know that Small Business Saturday is a great opportunity to talk about the business.
It is.
So we'll actually open up that door to share with you a little bit about how to share on Saturday. Do you want to talk about that?
Love Small Business Saturday. Now, you can do this all ahead of time, because again, it's the weekend. You might be spending time with your family on Small Business Saturday. It's the day after Black Friday. That's the day of Small Business Saturday. So it's a great opportunity for you to showcase why you got started in the business, to tell your business staple story. To really like share your journey, and then talk about how you want to serve new team members as they come in, and what the purpose is of them joining your team now. And one of the things that I have done in the past is I create a Small Business Saturday starter kit. And I've done this where I laid out a sheet of white paper, and then I put all my objects. So it was my favorite personal development book. It was a journal. It would be the Direct Sales Done Right planner and time blocker in there. And then I had like a getting started right guide that I would give to all of my new team members when they would sign up. And maybe a water bottle. It's a water bottle that, had like new coach or new partner or ambassador right along the side. And it was kind of our team colors. So I would take a picture of that, and then I'd take it over into Canva and I'd write, new business starter kit. And so then I would write an email. I would create a post. I'd have a story set that would go up, and I would talk about my business journey. And I would say, in honor of Small Business Saturday, I am offering my favorites in a new business starter kit to the next 3 people that enroll with me as a partner, ambassador, consultant. And so that was a great way for me to actually get a few of my prospects that hadn't yet said yes, that I'd talked to in months prior, right? To get those people to say yes. Also, there were people that would go, oh my gosh, I need to have this new business starter kit. And they signed up because I was giving them these tools, and I was bundling it in this really pretty way. So not only did I post this on social, send it out as an email to all the people that were on my prospect list, but I personally followed up with people that had been interested in the past. to let them know that I only had X amount of these available. Would they want to reserve them before I actually posted about it live? So that's a great way that you can use a small business Saturday, because that's also, everybody's going to be talking about it on social. So you might as well leverage it and use that to your advantage.
Okay. The next one that we're going to talk about, and I love all of those, and I've used all of those in my business over time. Great results with it. The fourth one that we want to talk about is actually being public about how your products or the bundles that you offer would make great gifts.
Yeah.
So maybe it isn't just about the product that you're sharing, but it's also about the product that you can share with others. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. So one of the things that we have done in the past is we have showcased who these products would be great for.
Yeah.
And I even think as a content coach, how I could have this show up as sales content.
Yeah.
How maybe it actually is showing like the perfect gift. Like everybody's thinking about the perfect gift. So keyword, the perfect Christmas gift or something. And then it would be for like the mailman, or it would be for your, the first grade teacher. Or it would be for, I don't know, your house cleaners, whatever it might be, like showcasing how these products can bundle together and how they would be great gifts for other people.
Yeah.
But I would also be talking that in my stories. I would back that up in my stories and say, here's some of the gifts that I've made for my kids' teachers, or this is going to be the gift that I am actually sending out to my husband, my husband's, I don't know, clients or whatever it might be, how these bundles can look because you've given it a personal touch. And I love that too, because you really are showcasing your unique spin on things too, versus just showcasing like, here's the product, this is what it looks like, shake it up and it will be great.
Yeah. I saw somebody do this actually. I watched somebody do an event like this last year.
Oh,
so last holiday season. And they did this 1 hour event where they had different products, and it was in the beauty industry. So it was Mary Kay that did this, and I loved it. They actually had like 4 different consultants that spoke, and they took different products and they did like, this one would be perfect for your teacher. And it was cute. It was like the fuzzy socks, and inside of the socks had like a lotion and an antibacterial hand soap and like a foot lotion that you then put the fuzzy socks on. And then they talked about like, you need one for the teachers and you need one for the secretary. And this is an easy gift for, whoever else, your neighbor. And so it was cool because they not only showed you the configuration, but they talked a little bit about the products and talked about who it was good for. And so I really like that. Like they actually had it like holiday bundled together for different people. And I just watched that chat bar blow up with like, and it was so great because as I was listening to it, was like, oh yeah, I need to buy a gift for this person and this person. And they kept saying, you can do your holiday shopping with us. You can get it out of the way now, so you don't have to stress about it at the last minute. And it just like, that really was just, it's easy to resonate. So you don't have to do a big production. It could be inside of a VIP group. It could be emails, but just like actually showing. Or
one piece of content, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated.
I agree. Yes, but that's just, it's smart. Like let people really, don't just showcase, these are my holiday hair care and just show the product, but actually bundle it and make it look like a gift. And then people can go, oh yeah, I see who I could buy that for.
All right, let's go with number 5, which is sampler packs. And I giggled when I saw this one because I remember sending out so many sampler packs over the holiday season, actually starting right after Halloween. And I know at the time we're listening to this, it's a little bit later than that. But I very clearly remember ordering sample packs, getting them sent out, not just to people who order sampler packs, but I remember sending them out as like gifts to my clients, customers, like just a way of saying, I'm thinking of you during the holiday season. Here's a little gift for you.
So the reason I put this on the list for today's episode was inside of my leadership mastermind, we were having a discussion about this topic. And she was like, do you do any kind of sampler packs? Like, is that still a thing that's relevant? And I was like, yes. And then I just like went on with my merry self. And I said, absolutely. A lot of times I said, number one, I don't give away sampler packs for free, samples for free. And the reason I don't is because most people will just go, thanks for that, and tuck it in their drawer and never use it. So what we started to do was create these sampler packs. And I remember us kind of videoing ourselves, and we would post that, or back then we would like take a photo of ourselves, but we would create these boxes. And maybe it was like, you did like 5 days of supplements or 5 days of skincare or whatever. You can kind of 3 days, 5 days, whatever it is. And then we would package the product together. We would write out a 1-pager of how to use it and give directions. And then people would, obviously, we would figure out the pricing for the product. And then if we were hand delivering it, there wasn't a shipping, or we would figure out what the shipping cost was. And it was a really great way. And people would just either Venmo or PayPal us the money. And then we would walk them through a 5-day or 7-day experience using the product with the goal in mind to get them to commit to more of a complete system.
Right.
And so that was a great way to just put, we put a holiday spin on it, holiday tissue paper, holiday graphics, but it was just a good way to introduce people to our products.
So to bring home 2 ideas with that, number 1, the packaging of it, we did ship some of these sampler packs out. So I just kind of want to mention this. I also did sell a lot of them to like neighbors who maybe had been watching me but didn't want to commit to an entire month or a supply. The second thing that we mentioned is sampler, like in terms of, do you give samples away? For some people and in some businesses, it doesn't make sense. I know right now I work with a Green Compass client, and in her company, that is a big part of their business and their service. So I know I actually look forward to those samples with those products. I also want to mention too, if something would complement something that somebody is using consistently. So if you have certain clients who are using a product consistently and you feel that a sample would showcase how it would enhance the experience they have with another product, I'm all for it. Yeah. So I am one of those people. It doesn't often get tucked in the drawer. Sometimes it does, but I do think samples are a great way for the right type of person.
We have our bestie, Megan, does this. Yeah. She, at the end of the month, will sit down and write handwritten cards to her customers and slip in her favorite product in there as well. And that's always a great way to get people to try it.
Yes. Okay. All right, so the last one we're going to give you, this was so loaded with information. We hope that you were taking notes, is let's talk about the new year, new opportunity, talk about New Year's.
So again, a lot of times we think nobody wants to get started at the end of the year, or, everybody's like on holiday and nobody's working. But I want you to remember that once you hit Christmas, it's something for you to think about. I know we have a lot of people that are in a wellness industry. We have a lot of people who also are evaluating their life at the end of the year. I mean, we talk a lot about creating vision boards and setting New Year's resolutions and goal setting.
And not just as business owners too. People do this in every walks of life. It isn't just business owners who set goals.
Right. And so you have to say, this is a trend. And if I don't leverage that trend, and somebody else will. So another direct seller is going to be right there saying, listen, new year, new you. And it could be, hey, you aren't happy with where you're at in your career. You're not happy with the money that you're making. Like, I got an opportunity for you. I'm getting ready to kick off my New Year business mentorship. So you want to also say, okay, can I really capitalize on the day after Christmas? People are really starting to think about New Year's resolutions. Where do I want to be next year? That could also be on the business side of it, right? But it can also be on the product side. Right. If you're in like a wellness industry, people are thinking about, all right, I'm ready to clear out the sugar. I'm ready to do a detox. I'm ready to make my health a priority. I'm ready to figure out why my hormones are out of whack. And you might have a solution. So it's important that going into the holidays, and we're going to talk about this in another episode about just preparing for the holidays and scheduling your joy, but you actually start to think about, how will I leverage a trend like New Year's resolutions and visions and goal settings to build my team and to build my customer base. And so maybe having some things prepared and ready ahead of time so you can maximize that opportunity while still enjoying some downtime with your family over the holidays too.
So much good information. We know that this was a loaded episode, and I'm sure you took some notes. These are great things too, if you're a leader in the industry, that you can share with your team as well. So we do encourage you to share this podcast episode with the people who are in your organization too, or team members, sidelines, you name it. You guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Direct Sales Done Right. We'll see you next time.
All right, so if you loved today's episode, make sure you head over to wherever you listened to the episode today and leave us a rating and review. And also, take a little screenshot and tag us on Chic Influencer. We'll feature you in our stories. Plus, we'd love to get your feedback and hear from our listeners.
Until next week, let's make chic happen.